Chapter 3. At the start of the next day, Jane and Jake waited in the alcove for their parents to return from their nighttime wanders. They were nearly 30 minutes late. "I have some important news for you to hear. It has to do with your grandfather." "I hope Mum and Dad didn't poof last night," Jane said, her voice trembling. Jake nodded. "Me too. But it'll happen eventually. I mean, there aren't very many elderly spiders out there." The two siblings shared a moment of sadness, but then they heard the skittering of 16 legs. Their parents had parents arrived. "Mum, Dad, you're home," Jake said, rushing toward his parents. "Did you catch anything?" His dad grinned as he revealed a bee encased inside a thick spider web. "Maybe we will have pickled bee wings for Notchmas after all." Jane clapped her 2 front legs together. "Oh, goody. Although having those fermented bee wings last night was more than enough. We can save these for next year, if you want." "We'll see," Jane's mother said. "But for now, your father and I need to take our nap. Remember, if you go out, be very careful." Mum and Dad skittered past the 2 young spiders. Their dad placed the newly captured bee in a niche where they stored recent prey. After that, the 2 parents went to their sleeping nest in a dark corner of the alcove and fell asleep. "What do you want to do today, sis?" Jake asked, keeping his voice down. Jane thought about it for a while. "How about this? Why don't we go to the nearby village and check out their Notchmas decorations? I heard from a friend the decorations last year were spectacular." "They decorate the village every year?" "I suppose they do. I actually don't know." Jake smiled. "I hope they do. It sounds cool. Let's go." Jane and Jake left their home alcove and made their way through the cave. They didn't take the path they had used yesterday to escape the players. Instead, they went in the opposite direction, passing through an abandoned mine shaft, then passing along a precarious path above a lake of lava. Unlike players who get scared of heights and lava, spiders are sure-footed. Even if they fall, they can shoot out a string of spiderweb and attach to even a sheer wall to stop their descent. But they had no problems travelling through the cave. Within 10 minutes, the spider siblings arrived at a crack in a wall. They squeezed through it, emerging on a narrow ledge in the middle of a cliff face. The sun was bright and strong. "Oh, I always feel so at peace when the sun hits my body," Jane said. Jake nodded. "I was actually still feeling slightly hostile when I woke up this morning, but now I feel like all is right with the world," and surveyed the land stretching before them. The mountain on which they stood slowly transitioned to foothills and then a flat forest biome. A few hundred blocks away, they could see the roofs of the village that was their destination. A few tendrils of smoke rose into the air, indicating the village furnaces were in operation. "Remember, we need to be on the lookout for players," Jane said. "I don't want to have to go back home and tell Mum and Dad you've poofed." "I'm not going to poof. Maybe you're the one who needs to be careful." "Why do you say that?" Jake shrugged. "I don't know. I just wanted to say something back to you." Jane blinked all 8 of her eyes randomly. "You're so weird. Come on, let's get down to the village and see what's happening."